Today on Plugin Friday, we're going to look at a Cubase stock plugin called QUADRAFUZZ. Hey, what's going on? Chris here from MIXDOWN Online. Now, if you're new here on the channel, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And for all of you, share and like this video. Now, let's talk about QUADRAFUZZ, which is an amazing Cubase stock plugin. It's a saturation plugin, but a multi-band saturation plugin, which is quite awesome. It's actually one of my favorite Cubase plugin. So let me have you look at what QUADRAFUZZ looks like. Basically, what we have here when we open up QUADRAFUZZ, we have the 4 bands of frequencies that we have access to. On top, we can actually change the frequency selection by just dragging that line over to the selected frequency. It's a very easy way to select the band of frequency you want to work with. Now, on each band, what we have the amount, the drive knob, which is the amount of saturation you want to add to this band. And we have 5 types of saturation. We have tape saturation, tube, distortion, which is amp simulation, and we have decimeter, which will reduce the amount of bit rate. And this is quite interesting, actually. Pretty cool when you want to sound design stuff. Okay, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. On top, we can mute that band. We can solo the band if you just want to monitor what that band sounds like. And you can also just disable the entire band. At the bottom, we have the gate. And again, that can be pretty cool depending on the sound you're working on. If you have like a big reverb-like drum loop, for example, you can tweak with the gate and create a quite cool, tight saturation effect, which is quite nice in some situations. Then we have delay, so you can actually add a delay to that band of frequencies, which is quite nice as well. So the delay time right here, and so on, the amount of feedback. And then there's duck and mix, where you can mix that actual delay. Then we have the width, the output, and pan, and the mix knob, which is actually the to blend the direct signal with the amount of saturation. Okay, so that's simple. So you have those settings on all different bands. And on top, we have the general mix knob. Then you can also blend with your direct signal. Okay, so again, you have one for each bands. Okay, one mix knob for each band and one general for the entire plugin. Now, if you don't want to use those 4 bands, you can activate the single band option, which will bring QUADRAFUZZ a single band saturation plugin. Again, very cool and very useful in a lot of situations. So there you go, guys. Now let's have a quick listen to what I have here for the bass. Okay, but first of all, you know what? I'm going to have you listen to the song that I have right now without any QUADRAFUZZ. I put in QUADRAFUZZ on the drums, the bass, and one of the guitars. Okay, now that plugin is bypassed for now. I just want you guys to listen to what I have without the plugin activated. All right, so now let's start with the bass, okay? I'm going to solo the bass and start with by activating QUADRAFUZZ, and this is what I ended up with. Okay, if I bypass it. Okay, so this is what I have for now. Let me tweak a few things up. That's pretty cool. I have some distortion on the second band. On the third band, I have an amp simulation plugin. Now on that plugin, On that amp simulation, I have amp lead, there's amp crunch, and the one that I'm using is the lead, the amp lead, which is a bit more aggressive. And I don't have anything for the last band, and this is what I ended up with. Okay, let's listen in context. That's pretty cool. It sounds pretty good. It's pretty aggressive. Maybe for this part, the best would be to go single band. Okay, let's try this one out. So this is what I did. I have one version of the plugin as a single band, and let me listen to what I have here. Okay, let's listen in context. Cool. I'm going to solo that one more time and play with the mix knob. Cool, so that sounds pretty good. Now let's look at the drums, okay? Those are programmed drums with Groove Agent SE. So if you're using Cubase, you have access to that drum VSTI. So that is a pretty clean sound. So let's try to dirty the sound a bit with some, let's work on the snare. Okay, I'm gonna start by working on the snare. And this is what I have on my snare. Okay, that's the cool stuff, okay? Let me solo that so you can listen to that delay on the third band of frequencies. That's pretty cool. All right, then in context. So I have amp simulation on the second band, and I have tape simulation on the bottom band, but it's way off. The drive is at 0. And the last band is also an amp simulation plugin. You can play around with those settings and experiment to get a nice tone. And I kind of like the tone that I get with this. It's way less polished, it's a bit more dirty, and a bit more dark, which I kind of like. And I kind of like that delay thing going on. Now, if I add some on my drum bus, okay, I'm going to add some QUADRAFUZZ on the drum bus. Also, the cool thing that we have here is all the presets that we have access to. And those could be a very good start point if you just want to experiment with stuff, because you can go pretty crazy. I'm just going to solo that channel and bypass it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bypass what I did with the snare for now. All right, so let's try a few things here. Drum AMB Destroyer. Now, if I use this type of saturation on the entire kit, the mix knob is going to be my best friend. So I can just blend the perfect amount of saturation with my dry sound, like I'm doing right now. Okay, now let's try with the Group Fuzz 1. I'm gonna solo this band. Interesting. Let's try this out. Okay, let's try that in the context of the music. That's nice. That's nice. Now let's go down and listen to this guitar. I already have some delay going on, and let's add QUADRAFUZZ and add a bit of saturation to this sound. Now this is a clean sound that we have up to now, and let's add a bit of dirt to this clean sound. There we go. I'm just working on those two bands. I'm actually going to bypass those, the first and the last one. So some distortion in the low mids. And some amp simulation for a third band. Let me bypass the actual delay, and I'm going to just focus on this, the delay out of the QUADRAFUZZ. Nice. So let's try this out in context. Nice, I like it. So you know what we're going to do now? We're going to bypass all the QUADRAFUZZ plugins and check how that sounds like and do a before and after. Let me select those tracks. Let's go with this one, and no, not this one, but this one. All right, quick link, and that is without the QUADRAFUZZ and with the QUADRAFUZZ. That's so cool. Now, you know, without the saturation, we end up with a kind of a boring sound. Very clean, very polished, but not too much happening. But when we add some saturation, it kind of breaks up the polishness of that sound, and I kind of like what it does. So there you go, guys. This is QUADRAFUZZ. There's a lot of good stuff you can do with this plugin. You can be pretty creative as well with all those different bands and delays going on. You know, and the different types of saturation for each band. It is a very complete saturation plugin. So this is one of those plugins that I would actually pay for. And lucky for us, it is included in Cubase. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave everything down below. And don't forget to share, to like, and to subscribe to this channel. All right, guys, I'm going to see you next time. Ciao.